Hey, look, menu pog.
Hey, what's up, fam? Hey, that me up. Hey, let's go.
Get it, son.
Okay.
Get it. Beautiful.
We get that
How you feeling after the
dub?
dub?
Feeling good, obviously. So what do feel good after a win? Winner, chicken dinner. Yes,
Beautiful. Look, I don't know about chicken dinner, but I did just find out it's National Sticky Bun Day. And I know bakeries probably aren't open anymore, but I'm sure you could jump on Menulog and check if there's something you could order that's a little bit sticky, a little bit bunny. I don't know. Can you eat rabbits? I think some people do. I don't, though. Anyway,
a little bit funny.
This is a great conversation to have, but I think we should start to talk about the game Skimmy.
Sure.
Oh, and who's playing? Do you know?
Who's playing?
Do you remember?
I want to tell you, actually. It's Peace up against the Direwolves. It's going to be a big dog match.
Yeah, I completely forgot. I had absolutely no idea. It wasn't written in front of me here. But look, Peace and Direwolves going head-to-head. Direwolves finding some success last week and really starting to look like the chemistry is kindling, Rusty.
Yeah, so Direwolves have actually made a substitute today, which I think we would all say we are surprised about.
Yep.
In that Chinky's going to be playing. So we've lost the big bulldog down in bot lane today. And I don't really know why. What I can say is that Shinky and Frost do have history together. So Shinky was, I believe, Mammoth's primary support through the second split of the LCO last year. And Frost was obviously the ADC at the time. So
yeah, very
interested to see how this kind of pairs them together, if there is like a synergy difference. What we know about Shinky is that he was a big fan of the Hook champions, which is still obviously very good right now. But yeah, don't know where Bulldog is. Sorry, Twitch chat spammers.
Yeah, look, Bull God will be sitting out. He has to rejuvenate those God juices of his. Now, of course, we've got a second team here, and it's Peace, who is at the top of the table. Going up against Direwolves, it may be an easier fare, but I guess we'll see once we jump in and how Peace are feeling today, Skimmy.
That's a good point, because Peace coming to this one, right? Only one defeat to the name so far. They tried something different, it didn't work out, but then they ran it back with the exact same mid-jungle top side in their next two games to close out that initial Super Week, right? The only team so far that played Lucian Nami, but it looks so damn strong. They had a lot of fun in one of those games, right? Diving turrets, making crazy plays to basically send a message throughout the league. You'd imagine that, you know, we're not afraid to tap into a bit of that psychopathic nature when required to, but you're still looking at them having, you know, the best bot lane in the region and arguably the strongest top side too.
Yeah, it's so good to just watch Cheon absolutely farm up as he gets pounded here in mid lane on the replay. But look, it was I wouldn't say it was the easiest of times. This is when Direwolves, we saw some nice things from them. Unfortunately, Kyosei, things didn't go as planned. Going into Appy, of course, playing that Gragas, it just seemed like he just had not a whole lot of presence throughout the game. And look, Kyosei has to be one of the key pieces of the puzzle for Direwolves, right? So far has been one of the strongest performers for them, but when he's not performing, then it just makes it that much harder. I believe this is one of those games as well where Frost, he did his job by, you know, not dying a lot, but because of that, he was just sort of not in those fights. Just a little bit too far away to have that impact. But then you have to look at exactly what Peace were doing too, right? Tian was absolutely playing insane, and Lisa as well, saving the day multiple times. He's been a monster when he gets this Lee Sin in draft. And Skimmy, it's just so nice to watch him because he's a mechanical genius.
He is. Lee Sin, it just rolls off the tongue, right? It's a champion you synonymously associate with the player. So I'm happy to see him play that one. Also worth noting was the fact that Appy went a tank Gragas in a game where they had no AP.
Yeah.
We were critical of it at the time, saying, well, where's the damage going to come from, right? We've seen teams time and time again go all in on one kind of archetype of damage and, you know, fall off late game when mitigation comes through. Doesn't matter for Peace, apparently. It's a broken record. But touching on your Kyosei point for 2 seconds, if I was Peace, just ban Syndra. Get rid of it.
Yep.
Kyosei is a little bit too good at that Syndra pick.
Man is absolutely cracked on it, but we were speaking about Lisa before, and I'm pretty sure Kitty has him down on the sidelines.
Mac, Lee Sin lead that, but all I want to listen to is Lisa, so let's bring him in for the interview. Hey Lisa, with you guys just beating PGG with a convincing win, who is left that is still standing a challenge for Peace?
Kenga.
Kenga?
They beat us. Yeah, we gotta beat them next time.
We did see them sub in Fighto 4 today. You know, things will be different for your rematch. But let's talk about your Super Week. So Peace have quite a tough Super Week coming into this week. You guys are going against the Chiefs and Order. What has preparation been like for you guys, and what type of issues are you guys focusing on?
I won't say it's like a super hard week, just another week, another super week, I guess. If we have like any special like prepared, I won't like be telling you guys, right? So you gotta watch the games tonight.
It's a little bit of a secret, that's okay. But we did see Peace opt into the Jace, Xin Zhao, and Rise for 2 games in a row. Why is this the preferred draft for Peace at the moment?
The team, like, I don't know what other teams like been doing in the ban picks. They're just giving us everything. Like, if they give us, we take it and we win. That's what I'm just gonna say.
Well, I'm expecting to see you guys pick Jace, Xin Zhao, and Rise for a 3rd time tonight. So best of luck, and hopefully everything goes swiftly in Champ Select.
Thank you.
Look, Giddy, you were saying he was just not leaking those strats, but I think he would just hit you with a gamer response.
I was
He's
really
like,
trying to dig in there, but
it's-
he's just really nothing.
It's like, he's like, yeah, it's just a super week. It just means we get to play one more damn game each week, and, you know, real gamers just play that extra game. They don't need to do the extra
You know what I
prep.
like
They've
though,
got
Mac?
Draft Lord for it, Skimmy.
What I love the most about his response there is just another super week. Well, tomorrow they got Order, and then the day after that they've got Chiefs. Just another super week. So he's as confident as all things considered. Hey,
And look, let's talk about everyone else's confidence going into this game, because I feel like, again, it's going to be pretty standard in terms of these predictions. Look, we have some games that on paper should be one-sided today, but I'm always here to see some upsets, and of course that's why I'm back to the old Direwolves. With my prediction, of course, I still think Peace are the favourites going into this. Just to clear it up in Twitch chat, everyone seems to think, oh, Max into his predictions, which may be correct. But I'm just trying to, you know, change the image on the screen so you don't think that the graphics man's just pasted it just 4 times without actually reading the predictions. That'd be boring, wouldn't it, Rusty?
Yeah, I guess it would. As long as I'm not the one that's actively choosing to go for the underdog every time, I'm happy that it's there, Mac. That's what I will say.
Now,
So
look,
save me the trouble.
I think the one of us that thinks predictions matter the most right now is Kitty, because of course she's ahead. Now, we didn't get to hear your thoughts on the matchup. Why have you gone for Peace, and what do you think is going to happen in this game?
Dial subbed in Shinky for Tenor. We haven't actually seen him play this split in particular, so I'm going to be really excited to see how Frost and Shinky play out the bot lane for this game. But Peace, they've just been popping off, and they're just too clean with it.
They are very clean with it. Look, even in that last time they played, there's been one hiccup since then, so maybe there's room for another hiccup, and that's what I'm relying on. But of course, Kiyose. Last time they went head-to-head, he was on the Yasuo, and I was excited for it. I thought it'd be interesting, but unfortunately, he didn't really get to play how he probably wanted, did get shut down a lot, and it seems like Peace just identified, look, if we can make Kiyose have a terrible game, then all of a sudden, there might just be that little bit easier for us. So we'll see if we do get him on one of those champs that he's known for, Rusty.
What I'm really looking for, first of all, yeah, the Syndra for mid lane. I think that would be a big deal, right? Maybe not the Yasuo, but Dyna Yasuo has been proven as a huge combo max. So the thing that I'm looking at is Peace the only team that consistently just picks the Rise that, like, globally is pick ban?
Rusty, I'm going to let you ask that question directly to Skimmy, because Champ
I will.
Select's
I
ready
will.
and we got to jump out of here.
let's just pretend, you know, Men in Black, get out the old
Skimmy, I have a
buzzer and
question.
flash a light. Where's your question? Here we go.
Do you think that Peace is the only team that's going to prioritize Rise, where the rest of the world, it's like globally 100% pick ban?
I think so. I think that's why it's been banned away in this first rotation. Direwolves clearly done their homework, much like you.
I almost repeated the question, but either way, Rise is going to be taken off the board. A lot of ADC is going to be going with that one, so Jin is the way that Direwolves have chosen to go for here. Peace are going to lock in the center. Now, I think it's 12.3 is the patch where if you do see a center, it's very unlikely that it's going to be in the AD carry position unless it's starving. So this is where you start to see more of the combos like the Tahm Kench and the center to work together. It is a very powerful duo. It does mean that more often than not, the Tahm Kench is going to be the one farming, however.
Yeah.
So with the Jin locked in, I'm very curious to see what goes with it. And it seems the Direwolves have said it's a free lane, and they're going to go for a comp, because their comp is already Hecarim goes super fast, or the Jin goes super fast right now, and it could be even an Orianna mid lane angle, and I think their comp is actually fantastic with 4 champions.
absolutely wouldn't be bad. No doubt about it that this Yumi's going to have a free time just jumping on everybody's head and giving them all the boosting power to find those kills, find those one-shots, and look to try and diffuse Peace before they become a little bit too big. I guess really we're looking at this Direwolves roster now with Shinky in place. There's what, 3 out of 5 of last year's Mammoth roster, so it shouldn't be that much of a wake-up call as for pre-established synergies and team gelling. It should be fairly familiar, you'd hope to imagine across the board. But Peace, yeah, they're definitely gone for this idea that Beats, who has been playing a lot of these Enchanter supports, you're going to be dishing out the damage, you're going to be the one that's farming. But before we reach that point of the game where you're massive, this Jarvan pick is going to put in some huge work.
Yeah, they actually third pick the Jarvan here. They know the Heck Room's there. I feel like in general, both champions can farm. Jarvan has a lot of gank angles though, especially with the time center down in bottom lane. And also, they are banning mid laners presently that have mobility. So LeBlanc has a lot of winning matchups into like your standard control mages mid. So like if it was a Victor locked in, LeBlanc can kind of force priority and Jarvan cannot lock that down. So I like the ban. Gwen is also, in my opinion, just pick ban right now.
Sure.
Because it can be flexed between junglers and top laners, but even if it's not flexible, I just honestly think that Gwen is disgusting. And Gwen Xin Zhao is a combo that should never be allowed to see the light of day, but is definitely being picked in other regions. Obviously not in this one.
Oh, look at that though.
Yeah.
This is the reason they don't ban the Syndra, because Appy's laid down the gauntlet and said, we'll ban your other champions that you're notorious on. We will take it. Now you're almost forced to go for the Orianna, a common matchup we've seen in the mid lane countless times over the years.
Yeah, it's true that I think the Syndra is a good takeaway. I think the LeBlanc ban is a soft tell that it would be a control mage in mid like we mentioned as well, but I mentioned Orianna before the ban phase, Skimmy, because I think it suits Direwolves' composition better. Syndra has a little bit more push, a little bit more threat in laning phase, and I do feel like does win the 1v1. But Direwolves, as a composition of 4 champions, that is a powerful 4-stack, and this kind of adds to that mix. I actually just generally, not looking at what Peace have in response to it, I like what Direwolves have. They've got good early game, sort of. They have a lot of good scaling damage and team fighting. I think early game is the one place they need to be careful. Did Tian just Zoranus?
As he just flipped the script and said, this is how you played Vayne into a Scion. You're now going to be playing the Yogurt. The roles are reversed. What an absolute caveat.
I cannot believe he just Vayne topped the Vayne top player.
I don't think any of us saw this coming. You ban away the Camille, you ban away the Akali. These are champions that he's very strong on. But the fact that he's just gone out and said, we're going to draft another very squishy composition. It seems like a bit of a Peace classic.
Anything you can do, I can do better. We'll definitely keep a close eye on this top lane matchup. I feel like Urgot tends to be a bit of a lane bully if they're melee matchups. Ranged matchups, high kill threat, but high risk of dying yourself because you're so reliant on that E connecting. Because it is a full commit, not just a dash. You're stuck if that misses. Also, cannot get away from a Jarvan combo, and Jarvan walls are perfect for the Condemn follow-up here from the side of Tian. Just looking at the Peace composition now, we've highlighted that we like the Direwolves comp, and we'll get into more details as the game commences, but the starving center for Chaeyon with a Tahm Kench down in bottom lane. It's a very aggressive 2v2. Mid lane, very aggressive. Vayne obviously has to be aggressive, or you're just kind of chilling, doing nothing, being a Vayne. You'll scale fine, but you want to be able to utilize the fact that you're a ranged champion, and this kind of just means that Jarvan has lanes to gank, Skimmy.
Yeah.
And so the variance that early game will see is incredibly high.
He's not short of any CC in every lane he visits, right? So I feel like much like we saw in the game 1 to kick off tonight, I expect things to happen pre-6. No doubt about it. I'm imagining double buffs, perhaps even just a single red buff, and they're going to go looking for blood to try and get this game really rolling in their favor. I'm very curious to really see where that action takes place from, but if there's anything to go off this Vayne performance, what we did see is it was dead even. It never truly got to shine. And no doubt Zoranus is now looking at this one hotly and thinking, is this a bit of an ego check?
I mean, ego check's definitely one way to consider this one. I don't think it is explicitly that, but I do think that, not to say that Peace get outscaled, their scaling is actually insane, but their composition doesn't scale in a 5v5 set. I think that they are just a very different breed of composition, and early leads make them almost unstoppable, you know? If Vayne gets an early kill, win conditions in top lane just explode. For Syndra in mid lane, if she gets fed, everyone can get one hit. So there's a lot of risk there for the side of Direwolves, who don't have the strongest early game.
Certainly don't, and we're all too familiar with what those Syndra one-shots look like. No more so than Kyose. We're back-to-back games on it, where he was definitely scattering the weak and unleashing his full power. So let's load in for the second game of the night. And also welcome back Coach Menulog from the side of Peace.
Hi.
Hey Menulog, how are you today? I have to ask, you know, very interesting draft. So how in fact did you prepare for this draft against the Direwolves?
Yeah, we have, but it's not that hard because we choose right side right, so our top have a counter pick, and we just make mid and bot have come follow landing phase.
Yes, the first time we've actually seen fasting Senna in a very long time. What was the reason behind that?
Like it's very good for against Jin and Yumi, so we pick Senna and Tamkach. And Tamkach get
just like to
nerfed
try and
for
punish them
solo
early.
line, not for the bot right.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. Well, I'm really excited to see what this draft can put together. Most certainly excited to see what Tien can do in this vein. I wish you boys the best of luck.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure, Skimmy, to hear from the draft lord himself. Just a quick stock take of the jungle clears. It is a solo Raptor start for the Hecarim, hiding his whereabouts, although you can see two good aggressive wards from Peace in their blue side jungle. So he will be spotted sooner or later, you would expect. Tien is going to have a good crack at this. We mentioned this before, the second Zoranus misses his E on Urgot, it is doomed. So that trade will go favorably for the Vayne. Mid lane, we said Syndra is aggressive. Well, we're seeing exactly that. And it's also the Airy for both mid laners. So it's about the Q poke, and it is about, well, actually both champions hitting their Qs more than anything else. You don't need to combo multiple spells. Happy running away with it early. And Lisa is just going to have the easiest time of his life, isn't he?
Yeah, certainly is. He can just go wherever he wants right now. He's seeing lanes that are fragile, that are being actively traded in. Would not be surprised once again to double down on an idea. First clear, double buffs, in we go. He's got those. He doesn't have vision on this enemy blue, but Goodo is only just starting it now. The sweeper goes out. Will Appy rotate?
Sweeper will stay all bottom fighting.
Oh, we're just fighting everywhere at this stage of the game. Frost is looking to try and flash away from this one. Burnt the heal too. Beats on top of his head. He's got the tongue. He's got the auto. He's got first bloods. And they might actually find seconds. As Tom Kench, he's farming, but he's farming kills.
Ooh, Kyose.
Kyose in trouble. I think Kyose is dead as well. Lee's just got away with blood here. He's got the Triumph proc. Where's he going? Does he have enough time to hit the flag and drag? No, he doesn't. The respawning Frost. The Jin is there.
The Jin that dies, Skivvy, comes in clutch. You'd never expect to see that one, but it is a level 2 Jin that gets onto the board, is able to at least get something back for the side of Direwolves. Peace, they had the read, 2 wards of the blue side. They know full well where Goodo will be. They also know the Hecarim is a ghost player. Doesn't have the flash to get out of a Jarvan combo, so he gets the tempo, wins the smite fight. Kyose may get here first, but only one of them is real. Has to flash out of the Syndra combo and is stuck in auto attack range of the Jarvan, who cycles Triumph with the W cooldown. Well played from the side of Peace. And during that entire fight, it's just a bit of free time in top lane for Tien. And bot lane, just outright winning.
Outright running, just so early on as well, which is crazy to me. And it's almost a case of, you know, a jungle Jin returning to base. Maybe the one time you don't want your bot lane to take that early 2v2. At least it may have been out free with those cooldowns back and active. But pretty much everything we expected, you had to say. You know, in the first few minutes of this game, skill checks being had, early kills being found. And it's all really here to play for.
So we have to talk about one really big concept that I think is missing from Direwolves' composition that makes execution super easy, right? So Hecarim, Urgot, even Yumi, Orianna, Shockwave, like all of these champions don't have a point-and-click crowd control ability. It's not straightforward League of Legends. It's not a Leona as well, right? And we might have to hold this conversation depending on Zoranus.
Oh, Tien really wants this one. He's flash forward aggressively, hitting the silver box, getting the passive. Zoranus going for it. No, he's been condemned away and condemned to die as well. They really want to make sure that Tien gets this one, and they will be successful. Now he's got a double buff, but boy, oh boy.
I mean, there's a perfect example of it. Gudo playing towards Gromp. Cheon beats, maybe they even have a crack. We'll see. Very aggressive down here. Should just be Gromp taken. He's gonna tongue. He's gonna tongue that shit.
One tongue.
Ah! You can't have it.
No.
They're hiding so well, just out of vision. Well played by the side of Peace. Now, the main point that I want to hit, if I get a chance to talk about it, Urgot was moving towards the Jarvan, is if you're a Vayne or a Senna, you're actually looking at the enemy composition and you're really happy. Because there is no like Leona, Nautilus type of champions that just straight up lock you down no matter what. And you can outplay, right? As Senna gets more range, she'll be safer and safer. Vayne's tumble dodges literally every form of crowd control that exists on the side of Direwolves if you play it correctly. So the 5th pick red side Vayne, we can laugh at and say he's doing it back to Zoranus. But I think this is actually an example of when to pick the Vayne top, opposed to when we saw the Direwolves pick that one. Because it's legit, it's free. If he gets ahead, he's unstoppable.
And he certainly is ahead. If there was ever to be a case or an argument made, you know, we're already highlighting how Tien is the top damage share when it comes to a top laner. Well, a champion like this will certainly add to that statistic quite nicely. He's actually gone back to base in that first rotation, rushed the Berserker Greaves, but also picked up a car. He wants to farm. Could be minions. It could be kills, but only 6 minutes in, they've already found themselves a 2k gold lead.
Also one of those commonly seen Starlight Urgot, but he can't do that because it is a Vayne matchup. Reason for that is the W procs 3 times a second and it is per hit hull health return, so nice to have. Very irrelevant in this game, I just wanted to say it. Looking towards what's happening on the map overall right now, however, with top having a fairly strong position, especially with the boots too completed, it is just going to be winning, and it's not a bad idea to leave it isolated and steadily building for Tien, especially with no summoners up there. Lisa at 6 could consider a gank, but you've got the Drake on the cards, you've got the second spawning of jungle camps first and foremost. And with how winning your bottom lane is, none of this exists for Gudo. None of it.
Pure frustration, really. He spotted it out nice and early. He had to consider hit the blast cone and try and accelerate his way towards topside where they do have vision control. I say that. Also, another great control would planted towards the top side of his own blue, so they're going to have complete tracking as to where this Hecarim is at all stages of the game, so much so that Lisa can literally just walk into lane, force Kyosei back. You don't have a teleport, and that's another gone turret plate in favor here for Epi.
Strong mental though from Kyosei. I like the decision to actually leave all Shinky.
Shinky's in trouble. He can't hit the you and me. Very lucky to sidestep that chain binding. Oh. Finally the cooldown comes back. He's been given a second chance.
The flash used by the center there as well. Fortunate stuff for Cheon. Beats are definitely able to hit the mark, stop the U and me, stop the W. Nevertheless, it is still winning across the board for the side of Peace. This is the first movement from Direwolves. You want to say it's predictable. I don't think Tion's expecting to get instantly altered though.
Oh, he's already hit the tumble, he's in trouble. And now he's been knocked away from the Urgot. What can he do in a 1v2? He's got the ultimate active. He's buying time, tumbling, rolling, going in Viz, buying time for this Lisa to come on through. The Cataclysm is absolutely massive. It buys him just enough space to work with. And now a shockwave in mid lane as Kyosei's forced to try and answer back as well. But 2 plays, 2 different parts of the map. Peace winning both.
I mean, quite frankly, 8 minutes in, we're getting a team gap. We are absolutely just watching Peace put on an absolute clinic, show why they are one of the best teams in the league right now and deserving of being first in the standings. Tien goes crazy with it top lane, but Lisa's the one that comes in clutch to save him. And the boot 2 difference is large, Skimmy. No summoners in top lane. That was a pretty crazy skirmish. The look-in was nice from the Hecarim, but you have to remember that Peace would be aware that he's on top side of the map. It's just that the gank positioning was great. Nice condemn as well from Tien, and just stays out of the Urgot ultimate lethal range. Buys time, tumbles invisible, and Lisa comes in to save the day. Conqueror as well, low-key keeping him alive there as that Urgot Q connected. Huge from the side of Peace, and then they gank mid at the same time. They're just winning everywhere.
Just the trust, the confidence, and the mechanics, the skills, the hands. The performance they're putting in so far here, Peace, quite rightly as you say, fit for a champion. They are the reigning champions. They're currently tied in first. 8-1 is their records, and at 10 minutes into this one, a 4K goal. It's devastating.
Yeah, 4K 10 minutes in is almost insurmountable if it continues on this trajectory. Kyose tried his best to outplay in mid, by the way, but he is a Merc Treads rushing Orianna. The ult was nice. The flash used afterward felt unnecessary if he doesn't have phase rush to get out with super speed, so perhaps forgetting that he is, in fact, an airy Orianna in mid. But this all comes back to draft for me. Like, it's being played expertly by the hands of Peace, but they draft for early priority, they play for their early priority. TN is under the wrong turret.
Good flash, though. Tough one to do.
Must have been a flash fling from the Urgot.
Trying to juggle the turret aggro. Force a kill underneath it. Not going to find it here today, though. They're still searching for that second kill in this game, but Lisa wants more. He's already got 2 to his name so far. The cannon! The Dawning Shadow from bot lane in towards mid. They won't stop Appy picking up their kill, however. And they've now got a fight in the bot lane too. Pinnacle comes out,
It's done.
and he has the thickest skin of them all.
Yeah, he's got plenty of health in the tank. Hands ultra top.
He's dead.
And that's what you get for blind picking Urgot top lane. Skimmy, what can you say? Gets punished. It was the flashes expended earlier on the attempt, but nice flash away from TN, and the fact that he survives means the door's open for him to take another skirmish afterwards. Herald used mid lane after that as well. Mid lane turret breaks, and you thought it was a 4,000 gold difference at 10 minutes. It's been 2 minutes, and we're up to 8. This game goes from bad to impossible.
We've gone past the point of bad to worse. It really is becoming a bit impossible at this stage, and you're really wondering, where do they come back in this one? Because we were praising the draft, what it could do in terms of its execution when they come together, but it's going to be such a long time before they can even find that moment, right? Still lagging behind with these mythics, which are being picked up at an accelerated rate here by Peace.
Teleport to be used top lane as well, Skimmy. The objectives are just kind of whatever at this point. We're going to teleport in, 12 minutes in, to catch the wave, continue to win our lanes. That is what the game is now about. I feel like Lisa, off cooldown of that ultimate, is going to try and make plays happen. And it just so happens that the enemy third spawn of the red buff coincides at that timing. Here he comes.
How does he play this one? On vision, looking to try and steal the red buff. Die also not going to get this one up without a fight. The last chapter, or the final chapter rather, goes out. Not the item, but the actual ability itself. The binding is there. The dash on through from Gudo to try and set up some success for his carries, but he's just going to fall on down. Beats finds his 3rd kill at the game. Frostfire Gauntlet. You can't run away from this Toad.
Yeah, just a bit too far forward there from the side of Peace, actually. They're not going to be playing towards the red buff in the same way that Direwolves are. So again, we know that the red buff is spawning. It feels like Gudo asks for help, and just greedy pathing from Appy and from Beats. Calm Kent's ultimate is there and could be used right now, frankly, to keep Appy safe. But the shockwave timing was perfect. We're back in.
Yeah, cancel the replay. We're back to live once again. A binding goes awry. Oh, so close. How has Shinky lived on that occasion? Summoner heal may have just been enough. But he's not going to be able to get away from this one. Lisa, it's a cataclysm. He needs to somehow dismount this Yuumi. And poking with a Q is enough to keep him engaged. Turn around, where you going, son? It's a double. Lisa is becoming Volcan.
Death is the perfect dismounting tool, as Lisa has just shown them. He also shows them the door. That top lane turret is the only place that Direwolves are looking at right now, because bot is gone, mid has fallen from the Herald already. The play pop fizzles, diving that vein is probably just losing. The shield though is there. Also take note, saddest point of League of Legends for any AD is that the Cull has 1 stack. And he was pushed away from the turret. He'll be able to get up there and collect 1, so it's all good.
We just watch, we wait, and there it is. Success has been found. Merry Christmas to yourself there, TN. Happy though. What can he do in a situation like this? 1v3. He's just going to try and turn around and hit Kyose with a parting gift, but it's not powerful enough.
Yeah, he's a little bit far forward again from Appy. Flash ready, but it was just so far gone positionally. Dial was with control of the enemy red side jungle. Not so much the red buff, but the Raptors. And it was just a nice wraparound gank from Gudo. If you look at the ward placed by Appy in mid, It doesn't show you anything. A good jungler can skirt around that vision very easily and gank from behind it. A good punish.
Good punish, and I need more like that. It's 15 minutes in, 12 kills to 3. If they aren't winning elsewhere on the map, you're really hoping they can try and find some way to shut down this Vayne. But it almost feels like that door is closed so early on. He's 3-0-1, shield boat boot, a bounty on his head. And Lisa is finding so much success, not only in clearing the jungle, but just clearing your roster. Just can't play the game. They found themselves a second Drake with the Ocean acquired, and now Zrenes says, I've got to do something. Is there to devour? It is. It cancels out literally everything that Direwolves chuck at them. Urgot is dead again. He's tumbling in the night. He's sidestepped the shockwave. No, he hasn't. He's actually been taken down by it. It is going to be good at it. Finds the kill on towards the Vayne despite him dying in the end. And there is a cannon to your head. Talk about overkill. That is a very dead Yuumi. Get that cat off my screen and give this man a triple.
Yeah, it's the 3 kills for the Senna. Easy team fight victory in the end for the side of Peace. And just one big moment that we highlight is just Kyose hitting the flash shockwave on top of his own head. Once that connects though, all damage is gone, all chances of winning this are removed. It was a nice engage attempt, but TN flashes, gets devoured, and just hangs out, comes out with a shield bigger than his health bar. First kill on the board before the fear can come across from Gudo. Nice attempt here from Kyose, they'll get the shutdown. The 700 goes into the hands of the Hecarim though. Orianna desperately needing some money, and the reinforcement's just a little bit too strong. And note that during all of this beats, completely unstoppable. Just auto-attacking everyone. He's got money. This is a farming time, Kenj.
There's a big dog. Big dog in the bot lane, matched by both of them.
Look at
their
the gold.
Look at their KDA though. It's identical, it's perfect, it's beautiful.
Well, the scary thing about this composition from Peace is because the Senna's harassing, but still building carry items, and the Tahm Kench's farming, they all have money. There's only one support in this game right now, and that is the Yuumi.
Yeah, look at the gold graph. It's unbelievable. Double the economy, as you quite rightly point out. And this is a Senna that's not actively farming CS, right? I mean, Soul Check must be up there at this stage of the game, but quite honestly, it doesn't even matter. Items that are acquired at this stage, you just cannot run away between the piercing darkness, the tongue leash, everything that, the Peace bot lane have. You're stuck.
And yet again, as red buffs spawn, Lisa will find himself there, waiting for it. Have an absolute blinder. Jungler of Peace. Curtains open, Skimmy, but it's just to clear a wave. That's how this game's going. Meanwhile, the one place the Direwolves have decided at all costs must be ganked is the Vayne. Note that everyone else on the team almost has a shutdown, but it just seems impossible. They want that shutdown money. A turret does count. They are struggling.
Half the battle achieved. One bounty on the map, but they want a second in that kill. That's a beautiful dive. Kyose sidesteps it. Will the second headbutt go out here? Is Shelly just going to trim the wave, help out the boys? Frost shouldn't have too much trouble dealing with this, or will he? Yes, it actually connects, so mid inhibitor, at least the turret anyway, has found some pressure on towards it, and it just feels crazy to me that we're only 19 minutes into this game. Peace are now just, fiddling with their fingers, saying, well, what's up on the map to take?
Yeah, you've got a top lane in a turret. It might be that finally Tan's lane gets broken for him. He doesn't get to just sit up there 1v3. Because that's all that's left. So I think that's the natural progression here from the side of Peace. No point in changing it. Resets come across first. Control wards purchase. Full item advantages to be seen almost everywhere. It's as simple as dotting the I's and crossing the T's, really, at this point. I don't think there's any contest for an inner turret. I think the line has been drawn at inhibitors. Which means Baron's free, right? Because it's a Vayne Senna. They're going to smash Baron.
Yeah. Looks to be the reset for it now. Having established a 6-turret-to-1 lead. Really all that Kyose can hope to try and achieve is now go down bot side and find themselves another objective bounty. It's not going to be as easy as that though, playing very safe. Recalling nice and early. As that minion wave will fizzle out. But it's 20 minutes. Now there is the Baron, and if there's ever a chance for Direwolves to try and flip the game, they are hoping that Peace inviting him into the area of the map.
There's a part of me that feels like the Owls have drafted a red side comp on blue side this game. I think that's probably the way that I'm seeing this. Because a Hecarim and an Orianna has potential to be really good, but Syndra just controls and bodies the 1v1, and then Jarvan gets to invade. So if you're going to play like that, you probably want a winning top lane matchup. So being on blue side makes that really difficult, with the Vayne 5P being clutch from the side of Peace, or obviously just controlling the lane. Baron has been hit.
Certainly has been. Goodo buying his time. Yumian has said he's got the Ghost ready. Looking for that opening. He's going to keep this Baron low. They're waiting for that moment to shine. They have to turn around. They're not going to go for the Burger Flip just yet. Zrenis evaporated from existence. Not able to do much in this game. Shinky, 2 autos from the center and just gone. Lights out again. Far too squishy. Fantastic flash from the center. Cheon putting in another hard day's work. Ooh. And then Appy comes across and tries to scatter the weak with the weak run.
Yeah, the Gale Force used there by the Jhin to survive, but at the end of the day, they're not doing damage, right? It's just Peace controlling. Baron secured. Teamfight victorious. 3 members dead for none. And just straight down the mid lane now. Just barrel it down. Turrets will drop. Inhibitor Drake at the same time. Kyose's about to be spotted. Coming in to contest this. Wants to have a 1v1. Is this a gentleman's duel?
This sounds like one of those jokes, like an Orianna walks into the bar. Well, it's a brawl that you don't want to have, because where are you going?
The wrong neighborhood, this bar. He's going to have to teleport. Send a W would stop him. Oh, he doesn't want to face check. He's afraid. All right, well, he'll win. He does nothing.
The mere presence alone on Peace, far too scary. They find themselves their 3rd Drake of the game.
So you can see that Direwolves really, in terms of getting access to this Baron pit, if a Jhin ultimate is what kicks this off, it'll do no damage, they'll sustain through it fine, and they're forcing themselves into a choke. So it's as simple as hitting Syndra combos. Jarvan ultimate completely blocks off the entire entrance to the river. Frost and Kyose don't get a chance to do a single thing. And Shinky, who jumps on board, tries to work with his Hecarim, just realizes that that was a mistake. Peace are too clean, and he ends up going with him.
Peace was hunting very hard though, especially onto the Hecarim. Just so much movement speed available. Kyose! Oh no! On vision again! Shockwave on his head, he's giving himself a headache! That's the only thing he's hitting right now. And Goodo's gonna die too. The Peace squad just burst into life, hit them with their wallets, and that is a perfect ace.
They're just completely torn apart here, right? Peace. The team fight we expected, it was inevitable. They'll get the Baron, they'll get the 5v5 off, but now they're just able to push forwards and pretty casually end this game.
Certainly will. 23 minutes into this one. It's not going to be a barn burner in terms of setting out new records, new speeds. But damage delivered, damage done, gold acquired. It's all things Peace. They're waiting at the Nexus, looking to try and farm another kill. They're going to flash forward, but be denied by the Nexus exploding.
The Nexus does eventually drop. 23-minute win on the board here for Peace. It's an exceptional performance from them overall. It never looked like they were ever at risk of losing, never in doubt. The times where I feel like anything got done by Direwolves was just, honestly, perhaps a little bit of hubris there from the Peace side. The kind of deaths that you would say are ultimately unnecessary, but it doesn't matter, right? Because Peace, they'd already done the hard work. They were too far ahead. And Lisa, too good at jungling and too much priority in their lanes. And again, it's that red side difference.
And an absolute field day. You'd have to say that, Mac. The fact that every single laner was taking skill checks, actively bullying, actively trading, and saying, we're just inviting a jungler to pop his head in. It's the easiest kill of your life.
Well, that's it. Look, and I'm always living in that red side difference, you know. I mean, Skimmy, we know what it's about. But of course, Lisa, man, he was just always there. The synergy between him and Tien up at top was crazy. Tien, you're looking at him, you're like, oh, this man's overextended. I open my eyes to the map and I see Lisa coming to save the day. I did not think Tien was going to survive, but that 2-on-2 that just managed to turn around so perfectly, I feel like that just sent too much of a message. Of course, little bit of scrimmage going on all through the early game, but Peace, they are just cracked with it, and they didn't even break a sweat. That's the most bloody crazy part about it. I was watching the player cams, and there was no emotion. Completely cold, Rusty.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's a casual game from Peace. It's a day in the office almost like what Lisa said in the interview was correct back. It's just another game for them.
That's it.
There's only one threat, and it's Kanga. It's just straightforward game from Peace. There's no other way to look at it if you were me. And I mean, Center Time Kent, that's one thing that I think we should celebrate seeing, because seen around the rest of the world a little bit, but first time in the LCO, and it performed very well.
It certainly did. Got big dubs down in bot lane, and I don't think either of them even died. So flawless bot lane performance again. I guess that's almost expected at this point, right? Just doing so much work. The fasting center allowed the time to just be so good. And look, that cheeky Gromp steal as well. Shout outs to Beats for making that magic happen, saving that blue side jungle. Now, it was just a damn fun time, and I'm speaking fun because I was also keeping my eyes on the Direwolves face cams, and in that last play, they were still smiling, they were still having a good time, so you could tell going into this one, they kind of wanted the dub, but they knew that Peace are the probably scariest team in the league right now, so they're just here to push some limits and experiment with a couple of, I guess, engages, you know, Kyosei just unfortunately standing on vision right at the end. But the 15, 16k gold lead that Peace had was just way too much. Skimmy, you mentioned it, smacking him with the wallet, but just look at the damage dealt. I feel like there's a decent amount still coming out from Direwolves, considering they didn't get more than just those 4 kills.
Yeah, very hard at that stage, though, to really try and do too much. You're really hoping, if anything, that, you know, Kyosei actually did manage to land that shockwave out of vision, you know, Fog of War, and then something could have happened. You know, the fact of a Hecarim charge again, locking members in place a little bit longer, more shutdown gold coming across, but at that stage, you know, you're really clutching at straws.
Yeah.
Really was a tough ask for him to try and come back at this stage. Too many nail-biting moments at the early stage where, you know, champions like Vayne were tumbling down to 10%, and it almost felt like a bit of definition of insanity, you know, just ganking top lane over and over and over and saying, we'll get you, even if it's just your turret, we're going to try and punish you in some way. It's just too much of an uphill task.
Now, that Rise ban came out real early, and I know that you were having that conversation, Rusty. Were you kind of sad to see that come out so soon?
I mean, I'm sad to not see Peace playing the Rise. I think what we got was fantastic from them regardless. But yeah, I really enjoy that playstyle, and it's the type of playstyle I wish more teams in the LCO would incorporate into their own play. Of course, we haven't seen them all this week though, Max, so who knows?
Very true. Well, we can see a couple of the Peace players, or one in particular, maybe all of them because they're in that gamer house. And we've got Kitty to bring us the post-match interview. Kitty, did you enjoy the game?
I really liked watching Tien play that Vayne top in that matchup, and something I've got tumbling into this interview will be Tien.
Hello.
Hello, Tien. How does it feel knowing that you have such an amazing jungler like Lisa?
Well, before I even played in the LCO, I already knew that I wanted to play with Lisa, and you know, if he's just fulfilling every all the expectations I have of Lisa, he's doing it flawlessly. I mean, he's great looking in game, he's great looking out of game, he's a great teammate. He's actually a really good cook as well. So like, you know, he just, yeah, look at this guy. Yeah, like he's like one of my, like, probably my most favorite jungler I've ever had like the pleasure of working with.
I'm so jealous. A gamer that can cook? No, that's unheard of in the pro scene. But let's talk about your Vayne top. This was the second time we've actually seen Vayne top played in the LCO. First one to pick up was Zoranus, and you absolutely just starred on him. Do you have any advice to Zoranus on how to pilot Vayne top correctly?
I think that you shouldn't take combat sums top, and you should really know how to play with like your jungler, use your tools, because top lane, I feel like it's not all about the 1v1. You need to know how to use your teammates, and when like he needs to get himself a pocket Lisa, because I have a pocket Lisa and it's great.
It was an absolute Lisa gap. But talking about draft, we actually saw Peace pick Senna Tamkench really early during the ban pick phase, saving counter pick for top lane. Did Peace always stick to the initial game plan of Draft Lord and just carry out the initial idea with a clear mindset?
So we always have draft meetings before all our matches, and honestly we expected like every single one of their champion picks, probably except for the Urgot, because that's a Bio Panther champ. But like, yeah, like we knew that, yeah, we're gonna pick Senna Tom, and like our coach just said, yo, you're gonna play fast this game, and we picked champions that could play fast, so here we are.
That was definitely a fast game. I believe it was around 21 minutes. Well, thank you for the interview, and hopefully Lisa cooked some good food for you tonight.
Okay, bye.
I felt left out, so I made myself a pocket Lisa. I don't have a pocket though, but look, he's a little stick man, and he cooks good.
There's a mullet.
He's saying I cook good, so yeah.
Man's arm started his neck.
Hey, I failed art at school, all right? And then I had to go to uni just to remember how to do creative arts. But look, other than that, we do have to get into the player of the game. And look, I feel like we didn't get to see enough of Lisa there. So let's give it to him. Let's bring him back up on the screen. Man was everywhere on the Rift today. 58% KP, but again, just saving all his lanes, always in the right positions to make it happen. And then at the end as well, you know, denying buffs, denying bloody camps, just trying to steal away as much gold from Direwolves as possible to maintain that dub, Skimmy.
It feels like the kill participation should be a lot higher, just given how much time you saw him on the map getting things done, right? He was really the engine that got the game rolling in a pace, pretty much like Tien describes, right? We're going to be playing fast. I just loved the most was that Cataclysm topside where it looked like Tien had been caught 2v1, and you know, he manages to survive. He tumbles out, the Cataclysm locks him in, and it's just enough space. I mean, as you say, there's nothing more you could ask for than having that super sub, that super player, right? In a jungler that's just going to be there to give you everything you need.
And look, I do want to apologise. That wasn't my best work of art, but I had about 30 seconds to try to draw Lisa, and I didn't back myself to try to do anything more elaborate than that. So if he's got arms coming out of his neck, then look, maybe that's just
so be it, right?
Yeah,
so be it.
Are there any champs that have arms out of the neck? Not in this game, no.
Rek'Sai?
Rek'Sai, yeah. Haven't seen him play
There's
though.
a spider technically.
Yeah, I guess.
Elise.
Yeah, get Elise in there. But none with like the extra set arms. Anyway, that's irrelevant. That's bloody irrelevant. Kitty, before we start moving towards the break, I just want to hear your opinion on how that game went, because of course you haven't had a chance to have you say yet.
Well, we just saw the Vayne top come out of Pisa. Pisa?
Pisa?
The Leaning Tower of Pisa.
Tien,
We're in Italy now.
Tien, Lisa. I kind of just mixed Pisa and
names.
Lisa together, but
Look, it's the Menulog branding. You're thinking about pizza all the time.
go grab your pizza, boys.
Completely understand. But look, before we go to the break, you're watching this on Twitch, make sure you hit that follow button so you never miss a damn stream. But of course, we do have that third game to get to. It's going to be a banger matchup, because last time Pentanet and Mammoth went head-to-head, Mammoth took that dub. Let's see if that happens again.
With the Ocean acquired, and now Zrenes says, I've got to do something. Is there to devour? It is. It cancels out literally everything that Direwolves struck at them. Urgot is dead again. He's tumbling in the night. He's sidestepped the shockwave. No, he hasn't. He's actually been taken down by it. It is going to be good at points to kill on towards the Vayne, despite him dying in the end. And there is the cannon to your head. Talk about overkill. That is a very dead Yuumi. Get that cat off my screen and give this man...